This evening, we would like to present our case about quantitative versus qualitative marketing research. The member of this team or group is Bob Cañete, and that is me, Famida Chowdhury, MD Abdullah Al Mahmoud, Kara Fleming, and Suma Akhtir. Today is September 10, 2023, as we submit this project to our teacher, Dr. Seyed Ghoraishi. So let me go ahead and do the introduction for this study. The introduction for this study is market research is an ongoing process to learn more about a business and industry. We treat this process as uncovering a mystery and solving a problem in a systematic way. Some processes can be lengthy and complex, and some processes can be short and simple. In this discussion, we will see how different kinds of market research and approaches stack with and against each other. In this study, we will learn how to analyze customer behavior, preferences, and dynamics, seen as from the book Kotler and Keller, published the year 2016. We will also learn the disagreement between quantitative and qualitative research method, which is central to this issue, and examine the differences, advantages, and disadvantages of market research. Let's go ahead to learn the objectives of this study. The objectives is that the group will try to explain the key distinctions between quantitative and qualitative marketing research approaches, as well as to advocate which approach is best to use, when to use, and which strategy is better, according to Belk 2013. The next speaker that will discuss the definition and characteristics of quantitative and qualitative research, I'd like to introduce the next speaker, Kara Fleming. Kara, time is yours.
Thanks, Bob. Hi, class. Hello, professor. So quantitative research is a structured research method that collects and analyzes numerical and statistical data. There are several key characteristics with quantitative research, including number one, using percentages, figures, and statistics. Close-ended questionnaires and surveys are typical. Number two is large samples are needed for statistical significance and generalizability. Number three, the capacity to duplicate discoveries and be objective. Four, statistics for data analysts and hypothesis testing. So to summarize basically quantitative research, it's the process of collecting and analyzing numerical data to find patterns, averages, make predictions, test causal relationships, and generalize results to wider populations. So this, you can imagine it in similarity to the scientific method. It's used to answer questions when creating a study, and you need participants, you need to select the methods. And so when it comes to quantitative research, it's great if you're needing the nitty-gritty details that you typically find in like data science projects. Now, on the contrary, we have qualitative research, and this uses non-numerical data to study human behavior, motives, and attitudes. The key characteristics for this type of research includes words, photos, and observations, explores complicated topics via open-ended inquiries, interviews, and observations, usually smaller, carefully chosen samples for deeper insights in terms of focus groups, values the researcher's interpretation and viewpoint, and rich contextual insights on human behavior and motives. So to summarize qualitative research, its purpose is to gain an understanding of underlying reasons and motivations. And you want to find relevant trends and thoughts and opinions. So this type of research may be good if you're wanting to, say, do a campaign that's results in certain actions from human beings. You need to find out what would make people react emotionally in a certain way. Thanks, Bob. And our next speaker is Suma.
Hello, everyone. And hello, Professor. So I'm describing quantitative research method and qualitative research method, which is emphasis on. At first, I would like to describe quantitative research method, which is emphasized on numerical data and statistics, such as collects and analyzes numbers. For example, it's like how many consumers are satisfied or unsatisfied, that type of data. It measures customers' performances, behaviors, and market trends. And quantitative research methods are really very large sample sizes for generalizability, emphasizes measurement and quantification. Number one, quantitative research relies on precise measurement and quantification. Two, standardized questionnaires and skills collect data for researchers. For example, surveys and experiments, surveys with fixed choice questions and includes experimental designs that modifies variables. Like for example, if the consumer satisfaction is below 50%, then we have to improve our customer service. On the other hand, qualitative research emphasizes understanding behaviors, motivations, and attitudes, which qualitative research explores human behaviors and how, because and how. Number two, it examines human motives, attitudes, and perceptions. It's small sample sizes for in-depth insights. Number one, qualitative research uses small, careful, chosen samples, and these less researchers get deep insights and contextual data. Utilize open-ended questions and observation. Mainly, qualitative research emphasizes morely on the observation and come out the result. Open-ended questions, interviews, and observations. This strategies enables unrestricted expression, yielding rich qualitative data. For example, focus groups, interviews, and ethnography. Small groups meet for participatory conversations in focus group. Participants talk one-to-one in interviews, and researchers get cultural insights by immersing themselves in participants' everyday lives via ethnography. So that's all for my presenting. And then my next presenter would be MD Abdullah Al Mahmoud.
Okay, thank you, Suma Akhtar, for giving me this opportunity to presenting myself. So I will discuss about the comparative. Change the slide, please. Yeah. I will discuss about the conclusion part.
Okay. Thank you, MD. However, we will give this time supposedly to Famida. However, we are waiting for her, but let's go ahead and do the comparative analysis first, and then we will go ahead to your conclusion afterwards. Thank you, MD.
Okay, sure.
I will go ahead and do the quantitative research and the qualitative research comparative analysis. So to make that long story short, quantitative research method is a structured research method. It has a structured survey, structured questionnaires, and structured experiments. Mostly, quantitative method, if not all, are standardized and has its own metrics. It has to follow systematic data collection, and statistics will always go along with this quantitative research method. And usually, quantitative research method answers how many, how frequently, or as to what point. And of course, it tests hypotheses and quantifies variables. I can call quantitative research method as looking for a way on how much we can supply the demand of a certain product. And that's quantity or quantitative. Let's go ahead to the qualitative research. It usually goes with quality. And when we talk about quality, it investigates why and how, as well as mostly it uses smaller and targeted models and has open narrative data, and it's also encouraging open narrative data. After that, qualitative research also focuses using interviews and observations, and mostly the questions are not structured compared to quantitative research. Most of the interviews and observations are open-ended questions. Now let's go ahead to the next slide in which when are you going to use quantitative research? For us, the group has voted that the usage of quantitative research usually uses large-scale surveys, standardized ones, because it provides statistical reliability and generalization. It also, the quantitative research measures market trends. So it analyzes sales data, the growth, is it growing or shrinking? And it also detects market patterns. Which product are mostly sold? How many products are sold? Those are the questions that the quantitative research usually answers. So it begins with a hypothesis, it tests the data and theories, and then it assesses new marketing strategies based on the research and statistical analysis to prove or disprove hypotheses. Now, when are you going to use, for us, qualitative research? Qualitative research are mostly used for exploratory research, such as exploring customers' attitudes and behaviors. Why is it that this product is mostly sold? Because we have asked our clients and customers that customers feel good about this product, something like that. So hypothesis development for discovering fresh ideas. And now, qualitative research also is used to understand consumer emotions. Is the product making them happy? Is the product making them sad? Is the product making them feel good or feel bad? So we use this research method to understand emotions and perspectives. It also investigates customers that are attached to a certain set of products. This method also, its rich qualitative data reveals motives and attitudes. And this product research or qualitative research is also giving us insight on the functionalities of products and quality. Deeply understands user preference and requirements. Now I will now give the time to MD for the conclusion. Thank you, MD, for your time.
Okay, thank you for giving me this opportunity. So I will discuss about the conclusion part. Like quantitative and qualitative research methods are two distinct approaches to collecting the analyzing data, each its own strengths and weaknesses. Here's some of the things that I can do tell you guys. The quantitative research focuses on collecting numerical data and analyzing it statistically. It is often used to test hypotheses and generalize findings to a larger population. Like if I give some examples of quantitative collection method, first it comes like surveys, experiments, observational studies, content analysis, and statistical analysis of existing data. And if I go for a qualitative research, it involves exploring and understanding complex phenomena through in-depth analysis of non-numerical data. And some of the examples that I have given for the qualitative methods, like interviews, focus groups, participant observation, case studies that we are doing, and content analysis, it analyzing textual and visual data for themes, patterns, and meanings. The choice between qualitative and quantitative methods depends on research objectives basically and the nature of the research question. Researchers often use a combination of both methods known as mixed methods research to gain a comprehensive understanding of a subject. Thank you. That's all. What are you
Thank
gonna
you
do?
very much, MD. Thank you very much, MD, Kara, and also Suma and Famida, and for helping us do this case study. We are so grateful and thankful for your time, and we will give also acknowledgement to our professor, Dr. Seyed Ghoraishi, for leading us on this marketing management subject.
Yeah,
Thank you, everyone, and
I
we
think
will see you.
give us the 100 out of 100 marks.
Oh, yes, of course.
I hope so.
Okay, and thank you, everyone, for your participation. I would
Yeah.
like to ask one question before we will leave this meeting that we just did. I have a question for this is not this is still part of the recording, but I would like to ask first Miss Kara. Okay, Miss Kara, what do you think on your end? If you own a store if you own a store just like Ralph's and like Trader Joe's, if you own those kind of stores, what do you think is more important for you? Customer relations or the product quality of your store?
Well, I think for in the case of Trader Joe's, I think it's already been pretty well established what their target demographic is. You know, people who choose a really healthy lifestyle, they want the high quality products, they're willing to pay extra. So I think in that case where you can pretty much already get a good grasp of what their day-to-day life's behaviors are, I believe quantitative research would be important. In terms of a brand like Ralph Lauren, Victoria's Secret, more apparel, it depends on your demographic. And I think qualitative research is even more important because in terms of clothing, apparel, brands like that, there are, say, controversies, you know, they're wanting to see representation, inclusivity. And so I think it really depends on what market you're in, what your business goals are. Obviously, every business, their goal is to make profits, make money, I would say, for the most part. And so you really need to analyze each individual store, their market, target goals, target demographics, and then from there, kind of fill in the gaps where you're not meeting those marks. And so honestly, it depends. In my own personal life, I would say probably qualitative research would be more applicable to me with my career. So it just really depends.
Okay, thank you, Kara. Mostly, especially on the stores just like that, that they are more on quality, so that they can give healthy products to their customers. So it
If we
goes with the nature of the business. Let's go ahead with MD. MD, what do you think if you own a company that is building cars? What do
car,
you think? Well, what do you think is more important for you? Building cars, quantitative or qualitative?
both are important, but if I ensure the quality first,
Quality,
quality compromises. If we ensure the 100% quality of the product or the any
safety,
brand,
and quality. Yes. So the qualitative, and of
first
course.
ensure the quality,
Well,
then
thank you for that, MD.
customer
Yes,
automatically come. If,
that's true. And now let's
yeah,
go about Suma.
Yeah,
Suma, how about you
agree with
own
him.
a store, a school? What do you think?
Mhm.
so
Which one is more important?
one
Yeah.
example
Yes, MD.
one example I want to give. Like we have always we use the Apple products. Why? Because it ensures the 100% quality. That's
Mhm.
why we don't anything we compromise. Like if we can buy Samsung or Apple, we first priority Apple. Everyone
Yeah,
choice
because of
is
the quality.
That's why the quality comes first.
Okay, thank you very much. Now let's go to Suma. Suma, how
Yeah,
about
for
you own a
school,
you
yeah.
own a school? What do you
For
think is
school,
more
of
important?
course, quality of education is more important, and I think we should not only depend upon only one method, like only one qualitative or quantitative. I think we should do both. Method use both method to find out the exact product or exact service. For such example, for school, at first we can do the qualitative research, and then we should also do the quantitative research, because in most case study we find out that depending only one method, you can't find out the exact result. So I think we should do the both method, because it is not the only way that we find out the exact result, and this any method is not the perfect one. So
Yes,
we should do the both method.
both
I think
methods.
I will do the both, though it's
Okay,
time consuming or expensive, or but I think I do more both.
Yes.
thank you.
First qualitative, then quantitative.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
qualitative. So let's
Both
make
are
sure
important.
that our products is of good quality,
Yeah.
and then quantity will follow. I think
Also.
that's the trend that we are on.
Yes.
So in conclusion, thank you very much for helping us on this short meeting about quantitative and qualitative. See you next time under marketing management under Dr. Seyed Ghoraishi.
Yeah.